1.
Hi, we're Degrees of Freedom. I'm Sayed.
I'm Owen.
I'm Yvonne.
I'm Peter.
And we address the effect of sea level rise on marshes. The problem is that sea level rise is expected to accelerate during the next 100 years. Marshes will be severely impacted by that, namely flooded and destroyed, which would be bad. A marsh can naturally avoid being flooded in two ways. It can either move back or grow upwards. There's two main factors that contribute to sea level rise. It's climate change could affect melting ice. When it gets warmer, more ice will melt, and that would add more water to the sea. And it would also affect thermal expansion. When the water itself gets warmer, the molecules tend to move farther apart, and that means that the water would expand and there would be essentially more water.
Okay, and these next two graphs, they show the severity of sea level rise and what sea level rise will actually do. In this first one, it shows the history of sea level rise in the past 150 years, and it shows projections for what various models have thought what will happen in the next century. This was given to us by our expert, Joel Shigara, and this one says what's going to happen with sea level rise. The blue area and the red area will definitely be submerged.
There are 5 main roles that marshes play. The first one is they provide home and shelter for juvenile fish and shellfish. The second is that they provide the necessary nutrients for growing cordgrass, which are necessary for the marsh environment. They act as a filter to toxins and sediments. They act as a flood controller and provide habitat for animals. There are 3 main things that affect marsh elevation. The first is regional subsidence, which is the tendency in a region to shift in altitude. The second is the decomposition of plants, which adds to the soil volume. And the third is a rise in sea level, which produces sediment condensation in a certain area and also adds to the soil volume.
There are several possible effects of sea level rise on marshes. They can be both positive and negative. Sea level rise can feed nutrients into marshes, and that would increase the soil volume, which would be good. But at the same time, sea level rise accelerates faster than the soil volume in the marshes can, and the marshes will be submerged, and the animals and plants in that ecosystem will die off.
So while we were researching the existing solutions, one solution that we found was rolling easements. So often a marsh can't migrate backwards because there's a property like a parallel road or a building or a waterfront hotel in the way, and that is typically fatal for the marsh. So a rolling easement is a clause in the deed of a property that allows the boundaries of a property to change with time, such as marshfront property. The boundaries of it shrinking as the marsh expands into the property, like invading it, and so that it doesn't get killed off to protect people's property values.
Another solution that we found that is being implemented at this point in time is the restoration of marshes using dredge material. Dredge material is dug sediments and nutrients from the bottom of rivers and channels. This material has contents that are necessary for rebuilding a marsh ecosystem. The Maryland Port Administration digs 3.5 to 4 million cubic yards of dredge material each year and uses this to restore the marshes in the Blackwater Wildlife Refuge.
So this is called the Chesapeake Bay Restoration Program. Its objective is to add 25,000 acres of marshland, tidal and non-tidal, to the Chesapeake Bay area by 2010. It is a good objective, but the only problem is that they have to use volunteers, which is both inefficient and inconsistent because people really have no motive to work because they're not getting paid. Our new innovative solution replaces the volunteers, and it is our robot. Our robot has front legs, which dig the hole, back legs that plant the cordgrass plant, and then it has a tail, not built yet, that smooths out the ground behind it. See? We also talked about some foreign solutions in Iraq
and they had a similar problem. Thanks you for watching us. We're Degrees of Freedom.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Perfect time.